everyone, and welcome to our presentation about best MBA programs for big techs, especially for product management careers. My name is Shimri Winters. Let's start. So I'm Shimri Winters, like I said, I'm from ARINGO MBA Admissions Consulting. We're a boutique MBA admissions consulting firm. We help top candidates get into top MBA programs. Product management is a very sought-after career post-MBA, and we'll definitely talk about this a lot today. I've seen it a lot in our candidates, and I've seen many students who have then became product managers, so I love this topic. A bit about me, I was a product manager. I have a computer science degree, undergraduate degree, and I think I know about this topic quite a lot. A bit about ARINGO. We're a boutique MBA admissions consulting firm, and we help candidates get into top MBA programs. Check us out on aringo.com. We help with everything from the school selection, chances assessment, project planning, all the way to the application itself, till interview prep, scholarship prep, school selection, everything. So check us out on aringo.com. We're very good. Let's start. Actually, before we start, I did want to talk a bit more like what is, why is this a big thing? So product management is probably one of the fastest growing post-MBA careers we've seen in the last 10, 15 years, maybe less than 10 years. And, these huge companies, specifically Google, Meta, Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, and Apple, but also some other companies as well, are recruiting tens of MBA grads from each top business school. So definitely, very big sector, and we'll see how big it is. And as you can see, 15 to 20% of MBA grads from the top schools go into product management. So this is a big thing. Okay, so what are we going to talk about? A few words about what is product management, how these techs are recruiting MBAs, then kind of some criterias, then maybe I'll mention some school names, maybe some geographies again, and some takeaways. So quite a short presentation about product management. Let's go. So what is product management? And I think this is super important to understand. Product management is kind of the intersection between the tech and the business. And you don't have to have a computer science undergraduate degree. You don't have to be an engineer to be a product manager. You need to understand product. You need to understand the business. You need to understand what the client is looking for, and then go back to tech, let's say R&D, and tell them what to develop. So it's really the middle of the product. One side the business, one side the client, one side maybe your stakeholders, the other side the technology people, and you're kind of in the middle, and you're kind of in charge of the design of the business needs for this product. So super interesting role and super interesting place to be within a big organization. Definitely focuses on data-driven decisions. It's a very analytical job, but as I said, you don't necessarily have to come from a technical or an engineering background for it. It might be a plus, but you don't have to do that. And it's definitely a very good post-MBA first role, which can then lead into leadership role in the tech world. Now, if you're not interested in the tech world, don't go to product management. But if you are interested in senior positions, if you're interested in being an entrepreneur, if you're interested in just progressing within a big company or becoming a very senior manager, maybe in a little company, product manager is a very good position to begin post-MBA. Okay, that was a bit about product management. I have some nice, snazzy slides. I tried to find, again, this very different data sources with different numbers, but basically I did see between 15 to 25%, depends which data source you look at, go into tech companies, and most of those jobs, so it's roughly 15 to 20% of total MBAs, go into product management role. Again, it's not as big as consulting, but it's already the second biggest sector. After consulting, it's bigger than finance in most top MBA programs. And project manager is usually the second most popular role after strategy consultant. In some schools, it was the number one popular role. So definitely this is something big, and you can definitely kind of count on it if you go and do all the right steps and go to the right MBA program, that you will hopefully be able to find the product management role post your MBA. Okay, so why product management, and why is this a good career path? So first of all, we kind of said it's kind of an interesting role because you do lots of stuff. You really have to think about the product from a strategic perspective, from a business perspective, from a P&L perspective, from what is doable, what is achievable from your tech team, and then you need to lead the development of this product. So you decide what goes in it, but then you're actually in charge of the development of it. Again, not from a code perspective, but from a project planning and project execution perspective. So super, super interesting. Obviously, this is a great position to get into, the top tech firms, like we said, Meta, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Google, and other firms as well. Super interesting to, get in there in kind of a mid-leadership position and progress from there. Like we said, cross-functional, key for product management. It's really cross-functional. And there's great salaries, which is also something good. And it's very attractive for post-MBAs. You get a nice salary, a nice sign-up bonus, helps you with your tuition fees. I think that's always good. So I put here a few graphs, but basically, if you go to a 2-year US MBA, as you probably know, the MBA is 2 years. Watch some of our other videos about that. And what I suggest you do is, what the tech companies are looking for, they do a lot of joint events in the first year with the student clubs, and you can benefit them in the first year. So you can go to kind of, let's say, the technology club or the venture capital club or the data science club or any club that kind of has something to do with tech. And then you can kind of enjoy networking events and guest speakers and things like that. So definitely, if you're interested in something, start studying about that something. And in the MBA world, that means join all the right clubs and be active in these clubs. Then in the US MBAs and in some of the European ones, you have an internship. Definitely try and get the internship in the company and in the industry and in the position that you want to work post-MBA, because there's a very, very high conversion percentage from internships to full-time. And even if you don't get that conversion, fine, in the second year, you'll go to the regular recruitment and find recruitment. So that's the way it works for every industry and also for product management. There's a great pipeline, and I'll show you some percentages. A lot of people tell me, if it's not Stanford, it's not worth it. So first of all, that's great. Stanford's a fantastic school, but there are a lot of schools that recruit the product management managers are recruited. You can Google career output or for an MBA program. So let's say career output Columbia MBA, and you will see Google one of the top 5 recruiters. You will see Amazon one of the top 5 recruiters. So even if I chose Columbia, it's not just you'll see from all the top 15 programs in the US, a lot of tech firms are recruiting for product management positions. Nevertheless, here are some statistics. This is when you pause the graph and look at it. And yes, Stanford has, just over 20% of recruitment to tech firms, not just to product management, but to tech firms, but most of the positions are product management. And MIT have 20%. So I'm not saying these schools don't have a higher percentage, but remember that also at Harvard, so 14% go to tech, but 86% weren't looking to go to tech. So maybe a smaller percentage is going to these companies that you're interested in, but maybe also a smaller percentage of the students were looking to go into these companies. So I'm not sure it's harder to get into Google from Harvard than it is to get into Google from Berkeley. Okay, so keep that into consideration. Definitely don't go to a school where, there's a 0% of people going to tech. That doesn't make much sense. If you look at the European top schools, so London Business School and INSEAD, are top recruiters for tech programs as well. So definitely something to consider as well. And that brings us nicely to geography. I think unlike consulting, where you really have an office in nearly every capital in the world of BCG, of McKinsey, of Bain, and in a lot of big cities which are not capitals. I've never checked that, but interesting to check how many offices does McKinsey have around the world. I'm sure the answer is over 300. Good. I'll check that later. But when we talk about tech hubs, there's definitely such a thing. Okay, everybody's heard of Silicon Valley, and some people have heard of Silicon Alley. Yes, in New York, for fintech companies. And London is a very big tech hub, with Cambridge, England, as also a very big tech hub. And there's some other tech hubs in India, in Israel, in around Europe, Berlin. There are other tech hubs, and you need to think, where would you like to live? And I think this also helps choosing your MBA, because if your dream is to live in Berlin, I'm not 100% sure that having an MBA from Stanford is the right thing. Maybe you should just have an MBA from Berlin. So I think when you think about if you want to live and work in a specific tech hub, I forgot to say Seattle, big tech hub, or Austin, maybe think about the local university there. And even if McCombs Austin is only ranked 18 in the world, maybe that's where you want to live and then work. So maybe that is a big advantage. So I would definitely take into consideration the geography of the tech hub, and watch our other videos about how to choose an MBA program. And location is usually the number one criteria anyway. So in this case, it's your location for your designated and your ambitions going forward 2, 3, 4, 10 years. Okay, we're nearly at the end, very short presentation. How can you maximize becoming a product manager post-MBA? So first of all, yes, definitely look at the school and definitely aim to get accepted to schools with a strong product management pipeline. But not everybody goes to Stanford. The second thing is when you start thinking about the school, and especially if you're being accepted, go to all the right clubs. Okay, most schools have a technology club, product club, technology and something club, and that might be another niche that interests you. Maybe health, tech, maybe real estate, tech, maybe any other word with tech, fintech. So if that's something that interests you and you want to maybe work in that in the future, definitely go to that club. Similar minds will be talking about things. You'll learn all the right buzzwords. You maybe will be able to connect to people from the industry. Definitely try and get the summer internship. I think that's very important, and then it's easier to convert that into a full-time job. It's also good for you to try it out. I know people who did the 10-week internship and then decided they didn't want that specific job or industry or company. So I really feel the clubs are important, and the internship is very important because it lets the employer try you out for 10 weeks, but you're also trying them out. You're also checking it out for yourself and seeing what it's like to work at Amazon. Definitely think about the regional advantages. I think that is important. Build an alumni and mentor network. I think that's very important. That's something you can start already now. If you're considering applying to an MBA at UCLA, definitely reach out to students and representatives from the school, but already start thinking about alumni from that school. And the students you're speaking to today will be alumni in a year or two. And then you can reach out to them and say, remember, I spoke to you before I joined UCLA. Now I'm a first-year student and I'm thinking about an internship in Amazon, and you work in Amazon. Help. So I definitely think you can work on this building a network before your MBA and definitely join your MBA. And yeah, referrals is like I said, once you build a network, it's important. And like I said, that's just important. Clubs, networking, conferences, but just electives are very, very important. You know, all schools today have data management electives or other analytical electives, using BI tool electives, using AI tool electives. Again, you don't have to be a programmer, you don't have to be a DBA engineer, you don't have to be any other type of engineer, but you do need to understand the right kind of tech jargon to be able to receive a product management role in a good company. So definitely sign up to the right courses and choose the right electives, right clubs, etc. That was it. Very short. Product management, post MBA. Have any questions? Let us know. Check us out on aringo.com. Send me your profile for review on my email, shimriw@aringo.com. Have a great